Hi, this is part 2, looking at Donald Trump and the coronavirus. So I put it to the cards again, I shuffled really well, and I asked, will Donald Trump end up getting ill from this coronavirus? So I put down, I did things a little differently. I put down his significator, as he is a Gemini. I'm sorry, Geminis, that he's a Gemini. It's just too bad he's in anyone's group. I'm so sorry. So this is him. And the cards that I get for him so far are looking a little spooky. Let's move this over a little. Okay. Now, what crosses him is death. Yeah. Don't want to say anything about that yet, because look at the base card is the Ten of Swords, which I have been getting for him with regard to this virus. I think mentally, at the very least, it does in his noodle. It does in his brain, you know. And there's lethargy. I feel this could be lethargy with him. I am concerned that he could get ill. And what crowns him? Oh, only the Tower, suddenly. So it could be that if he does get ill, he'd have a sudden onset. Certainly this is, though people tried to warn back in January about this virus, many leaders, including Trump, didn't want to pay much attention. Yeah, is kind of the response. It'll happen to somebody else, not me. They never think it will happen to them or to their family. The greed money comes before the health of others and oneself. It's just stupid. I'll tell you, health is wealth. If you ever not go without having good health, trust. I don't think I have to tell you, though. In the recent past, goofy dipshit Donald has the Seven of Cups, which is confusion. He just doesn't get it. He can't seem to get the concepts of this disease. He's mentally floaty. That shows that. Oh my gosh. Near future for him, the Four of Swords, which is usually about a long recovery where you have to, you're just so damn sick, you might be in a hospital bed or bed rest at home if it's something that's less severe. But that I've got death connecting to this. This is a crypt. Challenge, hey, not to die. This is definitely a transformative event crossing him. Death is challenging him because he's so flippant about other people's deaths. Maybe he won't be so flippant about his own. But he's just, I think, too stupid. I think that he will be shocked if he begins not to feel well, or possibly by the death of some colleague, because I did get a King of Pentacles that keeps coming up with regard to passing in the near future, and I think from the virus. So I'm wondering if this is not his own passing, that would occur from getting ill or a complication from this virus. It could be someone he knows, worked with, and that would shake him up not because he particularly cares about this person, I think, who I believe, like I said, is going to be a male, high profile, King of Pentacles, but because it means that A, he could get ill, and B, he can't do what he wants to do because people are ill and dying. He's so selfish. So here he gets a jolt of reality from the universe that the way in which you're living is false, is fraudulent. And I'm going to yank the rug out from underneath you. Boom. He has all the comprehension of, I think gnats have more comprehension. Truly, he's really one of the most stupid people I've ever heard of. These are des and suffering. And this is a 10 card. Particularly, I get, once again, a flash on older people being really susceptible. And that means people in government especially do a lot of traveling, like Donald Trump and these other senators. And government, people working in government that do a lot of traveling. Okay. We'll get clarification on that 4. This is going to affect economy. This is going to certainly affect his family, and that's what he cares, his family money. I think also, as I said in the video earlier, him being able to launder that foreign money might be more tricky now. So I'm sure that will make him unhappy and pissy. I think pissy is the best word to describe him. Do I have this deck upside down? Or did I just... Well, I picked it up like this, the Page of Wands in reverse. I don't tend to read reversed cards, but I'm thinking this is word, this is communication coming in from elsewhere around the world. Again, there's looking at information. Maybe other people will hear of this death. That is significant and unexpected. This person, if it isn't Trump, I'm wondering if they're not going to die of a complication from having caught that. Like I said, pneumonia, that kind of thing. It's hard for me to look at this and say, yes, I think Trump's going to die from this. He could die maybe from a complication from it. Like I said, this even makes me a little uneasy to do. So I'm just going to read these cards, show them, and we'll see what happens. But great change is coming, and unfortunately people will die, and he's not going to know how to properly help them. Perhaps that 4 is putting more people in quarantine, putting the White House in quarantine. That too would make sense. We already know that Ted Cruz and Ding Dong Matt Gates have put themselves in quote-unquote self-quarantine. I think they should have the quarantine of the common person. I think he should. I don't trust them. What is in the hopes and fears is any kind of delay. He's more concerned with the delays. He's more concerned with any kind of a delay. Money. And the final end result is the Ace of Pentacles. This would indicate a new start of some kind to do, I feel like, with, I think, a remedy of some sort, perhaps a means of inoculation, or dealing with this virus in some manner. This feels like a means of dealing with it is produced, is manufactured, is made. I feel like this is medication. This ends up finally coming around probably next year, as it would be predicted, because that's certainly the end result. But in the meantime, people will die from this, and he could get sick from it. He could get like that secondary thing of infection in the respiratory that could occur. Let's pull a couple of more for clarification. There's an offer. Yes. There, once again, I feel like, ooh, I'm sorry. I feel like there will be an upcoming, in the months ahead, maybe even a year ahead, as has been said, a means to deal with this illness. Someone comes forward with, I believe, a means of treating respiratory illness with this that deals with it firmly. It brings it under control. There is a means that will be made that will be effective in dealing with it. But it's down the road. Kick that can right down the road. In the meantime, because of Trump's foolery, people are going to get infected and not get the help they need and pass. It's right now very difficult to find, only certain hospitals treat this. So if you're sick, they don't want you in the ER, they want you to stay at home and call your doctor, because all you'd be doing in the ER is exposing more and more people there. So they ask you not to do that. But Trump and his bunch live by a different set of rules than the rest of us. And I think some of them will pay the price. I just don't know that Donald Trump will pay it by getting ill. But there's something here. There is something here. And I don't know if this is him passing or requiring a long recuperation because he comes near death. I'm just trying to figure out what this is indicative of. Or if it's just that it comes very, very close to him within government, people may pass. So then, of course, now they want something done. Now they want something here like yesterday. Well, if they hadn't have cut the funding like they have, and wanting to cut out healthcare the way that they are, like they're trying to close the only hospital here that I have along the coast that I depend on. And we have people in government saying no. There's this doctor that is backing out, trying to back out of buying the hospital, or he's being just greedy, disgusting about it. So it's still running. They've got to keep that there, and I hope and I pray that they will keep the hospital that I depend on as a paraplegic open, and for other people, not just myself. So this is what this will bring the health care crisis right up into focus, and Trump's no plan yet for any kind of health care. He's just too busy sabotaging anything. They don't have one. And even Grassley admits they don't have one. So this might be a bone of contention now with people, I think, having yet in America to become really ill. We have smaller number of people, but I think we have yet to see that really pop open. So the question I asked was, will Trump become ill with this virus? And I think he might. He might in the near future, or have to go into quarantine. Perhaps this is not being active the way and doing the stuff that he wants to do, and he's got to be still and be in quarantine. Perhaps that's significant change there for him. It's going to drive him, as you can see, absolutely bananas, because he's foolish. He's like a little kid that doesn't understand why they can't go to the park or why they can't do what they want, because everyone's sick, Donnie. And I just see him having a real mental meltdown here with regards to this illness. And I think it makes him more and more unstable. And I think that he will definitely, you're looking at the White House, I think definitely going into quarantine. So it will affect the economy. And I think Trump, I do think he could suffer some kind of illness that causes him to have to be hospitalized. But I do not think they are going to want to be, of course, very forthcoming about that. I have been seeing that for some time. So, as I've said before with him in regards to this virus, if he doesn't end up getting sick, I think mentally it just freaks him out. It puts him under a tremendous amount of mental anguish, and it causes exhaustion in him. I think I think he could get sick with it. We may not be told that that's what it is, but initially, but I think, yeah, I think he could get sick with it. Yes. I'm going to take a risk, and I'm going to say, yes, I do think he could get it in the weeks to come, honestly. And I think he could, if it isn't that, he could just get mentally so worked up about it that he goes into a place of exhaustion here. Because he depends on his audiences and other people. He will not like isolation. His idea of isolation so that's what I get. I'm going to say I think it's very, very, very possible he could get sick with this in the near future. certainly be put in a quarantine of some kind that he's not going to like. This is something for him that he feels like hit him out of left field. And he's going to struggle with this. So, yeah, I do think at the very least he'll have to go into some kind of quarantine for a period of time that he won't like. Or he could get very, very sick with this and be hospitalized. And we will not be hearing from him personally. He will be too ill. That is something to watch. I guess time will tell. And I hope that you all stay well and keep a close eye on your loved ones. And even, you know, folks, wipe down your gate where people come in to touch your gate at your house, if you have something like that, the doors, all that stuff, especially if you have mailboxes and things like that. I'd wipe that down. I'd wipe everything down where somebody's coming in. All right? I'm just being honest. And if you fly, I hope that you carry a wipe down kit yourself. That's a good idea, because I honestly think that many airports are going to go dark. I think they're going to, for a period of time, be very, very limited in air traffic. That's a possibility. America has not seen anything like this in a long time, and I think that we're seeing more and more slowdowns. I'm not slowdowns, I'm sorry. More and more close downs of businesses or cancellations of things. Trust, if they're doing that, the rich folk don't want to get sick. So not everybody can do that. Some people have to go to work, like my daughter, who I'm concerned about. Both of my kids, I'm concerned about them because they have to work with the public. So yes, I guess I'll leave it at that for today and say that I think that Trump could get ill in the foreseeable future from this, at least mentally, if not actually coming down with something, with the virus. Some kind of long-term recovery here. And at the very least, it would be quarantine, but I think it could be outright hospitalization. He's sick, coming close to death, possibly. Or someone close to him does, that shakes him up. And I will leave it at that for today. I thank you for tuning in, and if I get a moment, I will try and make another video on something else just to lighten up, because I'm a little wary of reading on these things. So I might choose something else here if I do another video for today. Anyway, all the best and take care.